Mates. Plenty to talk about on this Tuesday. It is January 17th. Welcome to Fox Soul's Black Report. I'm Courtney Hicks.
And I'm Nicordelai Corte. We are honored to stand behind this desk each day to take you on a journey across Black America and the stories that impact our people.
We are dedicated to bring you our news, our views, and our voice. So let's check in with today's top story. We go to Florida, where at least 8 people were shot at a Martin Luther King Jr. Day block party. It happened at Ellis Park in Fort Pierce, where up to 1,000 people were in attendance. The sheriff's office says one of the victims is in critical condition and others were hurt by the chaos caused by the sounds of gunshots. Police say they believe there's more than one suspect. No arrests have been made at this time, but police say they have several leads from witnesses.
A University of Georgia football player and staff member are dead following a car crash. The university says the player is 20-year-old Devin Willock and the staff member is 24-year-old Chandler LaCroix. Police say the accident happened just hours after the team celebrated its national championship. Police say the vehicle veered off the road and crashed into multiple trees and poles. 2 other members of the program were in the car and are in stable condition in the hospital today.
A vigil was held overnight for a Black Riverside County Sheriff's deputy killed while responding to a domestic violence call. Deputy Darnell Calhoun is being remembered by most in the community as a true public servant. Fox's Laura Diaz has more.
Just like my cousin, man, just a true hero.
Monday afternoon in front of the Calhoun family Texas barbecue, people who knew Deputy Darnell Calhoun well and those who didn't came to pay their respects to the fallen sheriff's deputy. This is his first cousin, Terrence.
Our family's just devastated over there. He wanted to be anything to serve his community. So he was just that type of kid, wanted to always serve. So, so when he finally got the opportunity to become a law enforcement, I mean, he was happy. His parents were really happy.
At the family restaurant, mementos were left at the entrance, including notes of support, flowers, and religious symbols. The murder of the 30-year-old Riverside County Sheriff's deputy in the line of duty has been an emotional gut punch to this close-knit community. Friday the 13th, Deputy Calhoun answered a domestic violence call at a home in the unincorporated area of Lakeland Village near Lake Elsinore. The incident turned instantly violent, according to the sheriff.
Deputy Calhoun was the first to arrive, and he was immediately met with gunfire.
Tragically, this was the second murder of a Riverside County deputy in just 2 weeks' time. Deputy Isaiah Cordero was fatally shot during a routine traffic stop. In Marietta Monday, the heartbreaking tale drew people to the family restaurant from all over. Deputy Calhoun leaves behind 2 young boys. His wife, Vanessa, is pregnant with their 3rd child. This mom and her young son felt compelled to show up. They brought a card.
Kind of talked about his wife and how she's got little babies at home and how, daddy's not coming home and how we're just coming to, show our love.
Monday night, the shrine continued to grow. Sheriff Bianco viewed the outpouring. His emotions were raw as he recalled the murders of his young deputies.
The hardest thing that I have ever done is hold her and let her cry. I have grandkids that age, and I have, a daughter with a baby, and there are so many things that we go through as an agency and as deputies that all of those deputies are looking at their own lives and looking at their wife and at their kids and, are they doing the right thing? And that could be them.
In Marietta, Laura Diaz, Fox 11 News.
Just a tragic story of unspeakable loss. And again, that restaurant that you saw in the package, there is a family owned by Deputy Calhoun's family. It is still being flooded with balloons and cards and gestures of support. And Nicordelai just brings to mind and reminds us that line of work is dangerous. And just like, we want to return to our families, so do they. Those calls, you just never know what you're going to get, and it's just a very heartbreaking story.
That's absolutely right, and I know that you have law enforcement in your family, and so I'm sure as you watch that story, it takes on personal significance. But you're absolutely right. They want to go home safe too, and now the mother of 2 with a baby on the way is. having to think about a radically different future than she thought before. These are challenging times, for so many out there, including our law enforcement. And so our hearts go out to them. Yeah,
it's a challenging time for men and women in blue and all the controversies. But when you hear about stories like that, it is a reminder, aside from that they are putting their lives on the line. And we just appreciate it and need to continue to show that support and love and appreciation, especially for this family and community who are just shook by this tragedy.
Absolutely right.
All right, we're going to move along now. Dramatic new video shows a military veteran taking down a knife-wielding man at a Walmart store in Columbia, South Carolina. I want you to take a look. It's a bit graphic. The man with the knife reportedly came in demanding $20. The veteran was shopping at the store at the time and used a checkout line pole to subdue the man with the knife. And that man was eventually taken into custody by police.
This week, the Memphis Police Department is finally releasing a statement in regards to an investigation into the death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols. The department says they're serving notice to the officers involved in the case of impending administrative action. On January 7th, Nichols was allegedly pulled over for reckless driving. Upon approaching his car, Nichols fled after what they described as a confrontation. Police say there was another confrontation before he was arrested. Afterwards, he complained of shortness of breath and was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. Chief C.J. Davis told reporters this week that after reviewing information, immediate and appropriate action was needed to be taken.
Okay, soulmates, we want to make you aware of a story that's causing quite a stir as a mother is looking for answers after her daughter mysteriously died in a car accident with friends. Reports say that 20-year-old Prairie View student Zakira Kemp went to her hometown of Killeen, Texas for summer break, but decided to return to campus early with friends. Her friends called Zakira's mother and said that she was driving drunk and died immediately in a car crash. However, the autopsy says that Zakira was in the back seat during the accident. Now, her family says they believe everything was staged and planned. There was also no 911 call after the alleged accident. This incident is still being investigated, and I'm interested to learn as this investigation continues what that mother, what that family is going to find out. It kind of brings you back to the Shanquilla incident over in Mexico, where it sounds like, these friends may be covering something up. At least that's what the mom is questioning, especially after the autopsy. When the kids told her her daughter was driving, autopsy shows no, she was in the back seat. A lot of questions yet to be answered. Yeah, and I think there was also some issues around, she had to sign off on viewing the body. She had to sign off that she was going to cremate the body before viewing the body. There's just a lot of really strange details involving this case, and it's just another note to our soulmates to be mindful of your friends, especially your new friends. Like, get to know people, and be discerning in terms of who you are around and who you get into cars with, who you go to visit. And it sounds like this young lady was doing right by what her mother asked her to do, which was to keep her location on. And it strangely ended, quote unquote, when this accident happened. I think it's really interesting that her mother, asked her to be cautious heading into this. And sometimes that intuition that moms have, that we all have, sometimes it kicks in for a reason. And so that's right. We'll continue to keep you abreast as more details come out on that case. But now off to Georgia, where Senator Raphael Warnock says he's committed to continuing the work of Dr. King, especially when it comes to voting rights. Monday, Warnock told reporters during an interview that he won't rest until lawmakers pass national voting rights legislation, renewing his push for further reforms. Warnock says that no one will silence him on the issue and promises that he's going to get it done. After the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act passed in the House in September 2021, Democrats in the Senate were unable to get the bill through the chamber because of Republican opposition. And speaking of Senator Raphael Warnock, he has joined a group of lawmakers who want answers from Southwest Airlines after it canceled, you remember, 16,000 flights during the holiday season. They sent a letter to the CEO of Southwest asking him to explain why they're still using outdated software. They also want information concerning staffing shortages and refunds for passengers. Southwest CEO Robert Jordan now has a deadline of February 2nd to respond to their request.
Now off to San Francisco, where a panel studying reparations has proposed a one-time payment to each black resident of the city deemed eligible as they recompensate for the decades of harm that they have experienced. I'll give you a second to guess how much. Okay, your second's up. Y'all, the panel is proposing $5 million. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. Or is it? $5 million per black resident. They argue that a lump sum payment would compensate the affected population and will redress the economic and opportunity losses that black San Franciscans have endured. The committee also proposed wiping out all debts associated with educational, personal, credit card, and payday loans for black households. The proposal could cost the city, which has a 2022-2023 budget of $14 billion, may cost them roughly $50 billion.
Well, what I love about this is the solution-based conversation. Now, whether or not it can be properly executed is left to be determined. And, you know, 5 million, 50 million, 50 billion, could you ever pinpoint a dollar amount that could make up for what has been done, you know, to our people, and how the culture in some aspects continues to suffer, if you will, from that, or always finding ourselves, you know, behind the 8 ball or the goalpost continuing to move as far as our progress is concerned. But on a much lighter side, I know Mama Corte is still a resident of San Francisco, and we are Facebook friends. We chat often, and could I maybe move to the basement, claim residency in the meeting in between, just in case they work this thing out for real?
Well, Mama Corte is in the East Bay. But
okay,
but
same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Away, right? You're like, it's all the San Francisco Bay Area. It is. I need to take a second look at where my license registration is.
But seriously, though, I know for you, you know, it raises concerns, even though I like the progress of this being, you know, something that we're talking about and really considering, and some folks are really trying to move ahead and execute. But as you've said before, you know, you got to, you know, take a little caution there.
Yeah, and we all need to take our time. I mean, you know, the reparations movement, you know, has really accelerated since the murder of George Floyd, and it's really extraordinary to see so many municipalities across the country, from Providence, Rhode Island, to Evanston, Illinois, to San Francisco, and so many other places that are getting creative about what reparations could look like. And so I think we need to be patient. I think there's no one way to get it right. I think, you know, whatever approach has got to be customized to what experience black folks had in that particular municipality, that particular area. But it's exciting to see that there are efforts afoot for restorative justice, to repair where there has been harm. That is at the root of what the reparations movement is all about. And so we'll continue to keep you posted. I mean, this is going to be your go-to on all things reparations.
It really is. Meanwhile, during this break, you call your mama and ask her for that back room. Still ahead, rappers are now sounding their very own alarm, actually calling for justice.
That's right. The double standard, they say, are keeping them from making music that's true to them. You're watching Fox Soul's Black Report. More when we come back.
Get your cell phone. Call your mom.